Can you be good without God?
Since your God doesn't exist, I'm gonna say that you can be good without God.
Let's find out. Absolutely astounding. There you have it. Undeniable proof that you can be good without believing in God. But wait, the question isn't, can you be good without believing in God? The question is, can you be good without God?
So which God are you talking about here? Are you talking about Vishnu? You're talking about Vishnu, right?
See, here's the problem. If there is no God, what basis remains for objective good or bad, right or wrong?
There is no objective good or bad, right or wrong. Some values may appear to be good or bad or right or wrong just because a lot of people, if not everyone, believes that it is good or bad. But do not confuse this with an objective sense. Over the past, human values and morality has changed. You cannot deny that our sense of right and wrong is very different than what it used to be a few hundred years ago. Heck, it even changes in your Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament. So tell me, if morality is objective, why does it keep changing? The reason for that is because objective morality does not exist. It seems pretty clear that our morals are changing every time civilization develops, so you can say that our values are plastic to the society's changes.
If God does not exist, objective moral values do not exist.
They don't exist.
And here's why. Without some objective reference point, we have no way of saying that something is really up or down.
That's great, but even in your diagram there, could the astronaut be up compared to the satellite there? You can't even say that, so next time pick a better analogy, please.
God's nature provides an objective reference point for moral values.
Please tell me you did not just put holiness as an objective moral value.
It's the standard against which all actions and decisions are measured.
You know what? How about this one? Stealing. Is it moral to steal from the rich and give to the poor? Is it okay for a very poor person to steal for her child in order to survive? What about stealing the firearm from some crazy person right before he's about to shoot someone? It's still stealing after all. Different people are going to answer those questions differently, and the fact that there are differences amongst people's answers shows that there is no objective morality.
But if there's no God, there's no objective reference point. All we're left with is one person's viewpoint, which is no more valid than anyone else's viewpoint.
Yes, but we can all agree as a society on what is good and what is bad. For example, we can all agree that raping is bad. Hence, we make a law that says no raping. But on some other things, such as whether or not you should tell your child a white lie to protect him or her, is up to the individual themselves.
This kind of morality is subjective, not objective.
Yep, and that's the only type of morality that exists.
It's like a preference for strawberry ice cream. The preference is in the subject, not the object. So it doesn't apply to other people.
What the fuck, man? You're telling me some people don't like strawberry ice cream?
In the same way, subjective morality applies only to the subject. It's not valid or binding for anyone else.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, there are some values that we can agree on. And those are the ones that influence our laws.
So, in a world without God, there can be no evil and no good. Nothing but blind, pitiless indifference.
No, it's not just pitiless indifference. We have values as a society, and this came about through years and years of evolution. There are plenty of animals in the wild too that also display some sort of morality. For example, piranhas don't just bite and kill each other. Chimpanzees punish other chimpanzees for doing something immoral. The list goes on. So, did God give all living animals morality? No, it's because we obtained morality through millions and millions of years of evolutionary success. That's why we see other species of animals showing morality as well.
God has expressed his moral nature to us as commands. These provide the basis for moral duties. For example, God's essential attribute of love is expressed in his command to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, so the Bible is basically just telling us to love our neighbors no matter what kind of person he is. Basically, just blindly love him. You see a problem with that, or do I have to spell it out?
This command provides a foundation upon which we can affirm the objective goodness of generosity, self-sacrifice, and equality.
So that one line itself gave us those three moral values, okay. You Christians love to take any line from the Bible that appears to be good and just stretch it out to mean whatever you want it to be.
And we can condemn as objectively evil greed, abuse, and discrimination.
You know the Old Testament promotes a lot of discrimination. I hope you read your own book.
This raises a problem. Is something good just because God wills it, or does God will something because it is good? The answer is neither one.
What the fuck? I can't wait to hear the explanation for this one.
Rather, God wills something because He is good. God is the standard of moral values, just as a live musical performance is the standard for a high-fidelity recording.
Without your love.
The more a recording sounds like the original, the better it is. Likewise, the more closely a moral action conforms to God's nature, the better it is.
If you could just give me some fucking evidence that God exists, that would be fantastic. Like, am I the only one that's questioning why you've just accepted your first premise as true?
But if atheism is true, there is no ultimate standard. So there can be no moral obligations or duties.
No. We have morals as a society. We have a duty not to just kill each other whenever we want to. We've obtained our values through millions and millions of years of evolutionary success. Basically, populations that had morals and didn't just recklessly kill each other had a better chance of survival than those who did so. As a result, they were able to pass down these genes so that their offspring had these moral traits. It's as simple as that, folks.
Who or what lays such duties upon us? No one.
Actually, we ourselves do.
Remember, for the atheist, humans are just accidents of nature.
We're not accidents. We are a product of years and years and years and years of evolutionary success.
Highly evolved animals.
I mean, yeah, highly evolved. I guess it's been 3 billion years, so I guess we're highly evolved, but we're still evolving right now.
But animals have no moral obligations to one another.
Well, I explained this earlier. Just rewind back to my video to find that part. Animals do have morals. It's been observed countless times, and it's even been reproduced in the lab.
When a cat kills a mouse, it hasn't done anything morally wrong. The cat's just being a cat.
So if a human kills a rat, there's something wrong with that? If I found a rat in my house and I killed it, does that mean I have to go to jail?
If God doesn't exist, we should view human behavior in the same way. No action should be considered morally right or wrong.
Except the fact that we have standards as a society, and as a society we can decide what is right and what is wrong.
But the problem is, good and bad, right and wrong, do exist. Just as our sense experience convinces us that the physical world is objectively real, our moral experience convinces us that moral values are objectively real.
No, you just jumped to that conclusion without giving us any evidence or even any argumentation for that matter.
Every time you say, "Hey, that's not fair, that's wrong, that's an injustice," you affirm your belief in the existence of objective morals.
No, I'm going to say this one more time. We don't acknowledge that an objective morality exists. We create values as a society to tell us what is right or wrong. God doesn't do that for us.
We're well aware that child abuse, racial discrimination, and terrorism are wrong. For everybody. Always.
Okay, that got dark pretty fast.
Is this just a personal preference or opinion? No. The man who says that it is morally acceptable to rape little children is just as mistaken as the man who says 2 + 2 = 5.
Okay, child abuse is one of those morals that we can all agree that is morally wrong. But again, that does not mean it's objective. It just means that we all agree that it's wrong subjectively.
What all this amounts to then is a moral argument for the existence of God. If God does not exist, objective moral values and duties do not exist. But objective moral values and duties do exist. Therefore, God exists.
Your second premise is wrong there. Objective morals and values do not exist.
Atheism fails to provide a foundation for the moral reality every one of us experiences every day. In fact, the existence of objective morality points us directly to the existence of God.
So, which God is it? Is it the great Lord Vishnu? Why is it your God, Okay, I'm done.